Flashback. Decades ago, Lake Chad was a vast, shimmering oasis, one of Africa's largest lakes, teeming with life and hope. It was the lifeblood for millions. Farmers, fishermen, entire nations depended on its waters for survival. But then, the water began to vanish. Year after year, the shoreline crept back, crops withered, and families fled. They blamed climate change, drought, and overuse. But whispers grew. Was there something more sinister at play? Behind closed doors, powerful interests plotted. Secret deals, hidden pipelines, and a plan to let the lake die while the world looked away. Now, as Lake Chad fades, the truth remains buried, hidden by those who profit from its silence. Alright, so you think you know what's going on with Lake Chad in Africa? Think again. Bigger, darker, stranger than you ever imagined. Lake Chad, once a shimmering oasis, now a shrinking shadow of its former self. Chad, Nigeria, Niger, Cameroon, drinking water, fertile land, food for people and animals, the heartbeat of entire nations. But lately, it's drying up, fast. They say it's climate change, but what if that's just the cover story? Here's where it gets wild. As the lake shrinks, countries start losing everything. Crops, animals, people. Desperation sets in, so they hatch a plan. Dig massive tunnels all the way to the Congo River, Africa's liquid gold mine. They force the Congolese government to let them tap in. Connecting Lake Chad to the Congo, water flows, hope returns for a while. But then, the Congo River starts to dry up too, and it's happening at a speed nobody's ever seen before. The Congolese government panics. They shut down the tunnels. Suddenly Lake Chad is dying again, and now the Congo is in crisis too. Borders heat up, refugees pour out, tensions explode, war is on the horizon. But here's the twist nobody sees coming. But to really understand how we got here, we need to rewind the clock. Picture Lake Chad thousands of years ago, a vast inland sea stretching across the heart of Africa. Ancient maps show it as the Sea of the Sahara. Civilizations rose and fell along its shores. Nomads, traders, kingdoms, all relying on its life-giving waters. Fast forward to the 20th century. Colonial borders slice through the lake, dividing people who once shared its bounty. Foreign companies move in, drilling for oil, digging for gold, siphoning water for distant cities. Local voices silenced. Promises of development broken. By the 1970s, droughts hit hard, rainfall drops, rivers feeding Lake Chad dry up. But behind the headlines, something else is happening. Massive irrigation projects, built to feed cash crops for export. They start draining the lake faster than nature can refill it. The world shrugs, the lake shrinks. But the people, they adapt. Fishermen invent new nets, farmers switch crops. Communities migrate, crossing new borders, clashing with neighbors who are just as desperate. Generations grow up in a land where water is power and power is slipping away. The seeds of today's crisis were planted long ago, and as the lake fades, so does the truth. Buried under politics, profit, the endless struggle for survival. While everyone's fighting for survival, the richest nations, the ones always talking about helping, they've been planning this for years. Secret underground bunkers, advanced tech that turns oxygen and salt into pure water. They hoard it all, out of reach, watching as chaos takes over. Their goal? Let Africa tear itself apart. Let the land empty out. Then, when the dust settles, they swoop in. They claim the land, the resources, everything. No resistance left. So, is this all just a wild theory, or is there something bigger happening behind the headlines? What aren't they telling us? Are we watching the biggest heist in history, one drop at a time? Let me know if you want to dive deeper, because this rabbit hole goes way, way down. Follow for part 2, if you dare.